Hi friends, today we are going to discuss about addiction. The word addiction is actually a noun which comes from the Latin word addicere, which means the fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance or activity. Today we are going to talk about substance addiction, which actually means dependence, weakness or craving. There are other forms of addiction also, like using your phone, shopping, but today we are going to discuss about substance addiction. Now, if we look at it from the scriptural point of view, we will find that it is given in Proverbs 20:1. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. Now, mocker is a person who causes emotional pain, and brawler is a person who takes parts in dispute. So basically, in this form of an addiction, like a wine or a strong drink, you tend to cause emotional pain and you also tend to get into disputes. This is what the scripture says. And yet the scripture also says about it is, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. John 8:36. Now, let us talk about myself. I myself was an addict. I was an addict of alcohol and tobacco. Now here you can see a small drawing I've made. It's like marijuana and smoking and drinking and drugs. So basically, what was my personal experience was that when I used to drink, I used to be a little faster than the moment. Actually, I used to be hyper. And the very next day, when I used to get up, I used to have a little hangover. You can say a lot of hangover sometimes. And by the time I was in my elements, it would be around 1:30 p.m. Now, what I know about success in so years is, and you would have heard it from so many people, that success is in the moment. And when you're faster than the moment, or when you're slower than the moment, faster is when you have consumed alcohol, or slower is the next day when you have a hangover and you are slower than the moment. They say blink and the opportunity is gone. So just think about it. How long are you faster than the moment, and how long are you slower than the moment? Now, I think there are a lot of blinks. Not blinks, it's like a lot of them. Now, they say God will pass you by and you would not know when you are intoxicated. Now, what I would like to share with you is how I got out of addiction. Now, this is my experience, and then we will talk about the psychologist who talk about it. Now, my personal experience was, I used to feel very uneasy when I used to not have alcohol. And yes, I had a friend who was a doctor, and under his supervision, you have to take medication which stops that uneasiness. And yes, you cannot have alcohol during that period. Now, so I had the medication, and while having the medication, I also learned that yes, our five senses always want to get occupied. It was in the book of The Joy of Living by Professor Yangyur Mingyur Rinpoche, he had said that you have to keep your five senses occupied. They are like the five monkeys. You need something to do. Even if you engage yourself in one of them, you will feel connected to yourself. So by nourishing your five senses, like your smell, taste, your sight, your hearing, and your feeling, which I had already discussed earlier, how do you engage them is like watching a good movie or watching a good documentary or watching the nature, listening to good music, smelling perfumes or smelling wood, smelling nice spices, feeding your pet, means carrying babies or soft toys or different types of cloth. There's so many things, like eating tasty and also healthy food, and hearing good music I've already spoken about. Now this is one of the ways of, it is one of the most important ways. Now let us look towards the biggest cause of addiction. The biggest cause of addiction is isolation. There was an experiment done by Professor Bruce Alexander, and you can actually see the TED talk by Mr. Johann Hari, and you can know about this rat experiment, where they had put some water, clean water, and also some intoxicated water in a cage, and you would find the rat going and having the intoxicated water. But something which they came to realize was that this only happened when the rat was in isolation. And the next thing they did was they made a rat park. It was like a rat heaven, where they put some obstacles, and they put around some colorful playing things, and they put other rats inside it, where there were males and other female rats inside it. And in that experiment also they put some intoxicated water and some plain water, and you could find the cats in isolation used to go and drink the intoxicated water, and the cats which were in the rats which were in the rat park used to completely avoid the intoxicated water, and they would only drink the plain water. Basically, isolation is one of the biggest cause of addiction, because addiction can also be termed as bonding. When you don't get to connect with people, when you don't get to bond with people, when you don't nourish your five senses, you actually bond with things which give you relief. And in isolation, substance abuse or substance addiction is one of the biggest reliever for people who are into addiction. So you have to understand that yes, the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. That is by Mr. Johann Hari, who gave a TED talk on it. So what I believe is, you need to connect with your children, connect with people. You need to understand that there is a country like Portugal, who had almost 1% of their total population was addict, and instead of isolating these people and punishing them or cutting them off, with the help of their scientists and their psychologists and doctors, they did an experiment of creating jobs. They did an experiment of connecting them with people, and the addiction was gone. And most of us even don't know that when we go to the hospital, we are on drugs, and we don't get addicted to drugs, because when we get back home, we are connected with our loved ones, we are connected with the work we love to do, we are connected with the things we want to be present for. So my take on this is that yes, bonding is the biggest solution to addiction, and thank you for watching this video. Please understand that bonding is one of the biggest solutions to addictions. Connectedness is one of the biggest solutions to addiction. Nourishing your five senses is one of the biggest solution to the addictions. And yes, I would ask people to not go for these 5-minute pleasures, but go for things like which are not a 5-minute pleasure-giving thing, but a long-term pleasure-giving thing, which is connectedness, which is finding your purpose, which is loving to do the things you love to do. Actually, not loving the things you love to do, it's doing the things what you love to do, and nourishing your five senses. Thank you for watching this video. God bless you. So bond with your children, bond with your people, and connect with people who have come out of addiction, and don't isolate them. And yes, like countries like Portugal, other countries should also try to do what they have done, like creating jobs for these people who have come out of addiction, providing microloans for people who have come out of addiction, and respecting, supporting, and inspiring these people. Thank you again for watching this video. I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe to this channel, and thanks again for watching. Thank you.